For years, I had been trying to crack the YouTube algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, the TikTok algorithm, whatever you want to call them, but I could never figure out how to stay consistent. There would be months throughout my journey where I would post a couple reels or long format videos consistently for 2, 3, 4 weeks, but for me, it was never really sustainable, mainly because I had to run a full-time business, I had to stay in shape, I had to manage my social life, so it was not easy to figure out a system to stay consistent in this content creating journey. Luckily, over the last 6 months, I've been able to post a video every single week consistently, growing my channel to over 1,800 subscribers and officially unlocking monetization. So after doing so, I've had a lot of friends asking me, hey, Judson, like, what do you do for your content creation systems and processes? How do you post it every single week without missing a week? So that's when I thought to myself, rather than just telling them, I said, hey, look, let me make a video, show you guys step by step on what I do, going over the research process, the scripting process, the management process, the filming process, the editing process, and finally, the posting process. So before I jump into all of these systems, I want to explain why consistency matters. And I think we can pretty much all agree that you have to stay consistent in pretty much anything that you do. But let's specifically talk about YouTube and social media platforms. You see, consistency literally builds trust with your audience, and it gives you the ability to improve on every single video that you post, as well as have higher chances for one of your videos to go viral. And I know staying consistent is extremely difficult, especially when you have to do everything from filming to editing, from scripting, from figuring out what times to post, figuring out what content to actually make. So again, that's why I decided to build this system to allow me to spend no more than 4 or 5 hours per week creating content, and then again, keeping this content coming out on a consistent basis. So with that all being said, let's get right into the context of this video. So guys, first let's talk about the research process. And the more and more I post on YouTube, the more and more I realize that this is probably the most important part, along with scripting, for your videos. Because if you just make random content with random ideas, with no idea of where you want to go with a video, it's probably not going to get a lot of views. So whether you guys are doing like entertainment, whether you're doing education, whether you're doing cracking down on a specific niche, I think it's important to research videos before you actually create them. And what I'm going to do really quickly and show you guys what I do. So it's actually pretty simple, and you're gonna get better and better at doing this once you just start posting consistently. But what I do is I actually look for channels that are similar to mine, that are in the same niche. So for example, shout out to this guy right here, Kofi. I've been watching this guy for a couple years, and I've actually seen this guy grow from like 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, all the way up to 50,000. So what I'll actually do is I'll click on his videos and I'll look at his most popular. And this is just one guy's example. I see that he's posting a lot of videos about the FX3, FX30. He's posting videos about the FX6. He's posting some Cine Glass. So guys, I'm not literally copying this guy's videos, but because this guy is in the same niche as me, he's pretty much doing the research for me. He's posting a bunch of videos in my niche, and he's showing me what type of videos and what type of keywords are actually going to be getting views on YouTube. So the next thing I'll do is I'll go over to VidIQ. So guys, I do pay for this platform to kind of allow me to kind of type in keywords and figure out if this is a good subject to make videos on. So for example, let's pretend that we're making a video about the FX3, okay? We'll see that the FX3, which is actually the camera that I'm filming on right now, has a very high overall score. The search volume's 117,000 and the competition is relatively low. So once I do that, then I start brainstorming some ideas, and I'll bring you into the Notion. And as you guys can see, I literally have this video scripted out right now that I'm filming right now, so that when I'm actually sitting down and filming it, I know what to talk about. So that all being said, I'm going to come into this content pipeline and I'll just kind of throw it into this ideas tab right here. So now that we've covered the research portion, let's dive into the scripting. So now that I've consistently made around 30 videos, I kind of already know in my head on how I want to structure the videos, but right when I started with an introduction, a hook, going into the different sections of the content, and then an overall conclusion. So for example, I wrote something out pretty simple. Now this is not what I wrote down word for word. I actually used ChatGPT to help me organize my ideas and thoughts. And I do that by just kind of like putting down the script and what I have in my head on this piece of paper in Notion, copying it, pasting it into ChatGPT and saying, hey, help me expand on these ideas, help me kind of create some sort of structure that I can follow when I'm recording my video. So this is pretty much what it kind of spat out. It said something about introduction. It then kind of let me go over what today's video covers, so you guys know exactly what you're going to be getting inside of the video, kind of re-highlighting why consistency really matters and why you need to be consistent, and why that'll actually help you improve your videos. And then again, just some different sections of the actual step-by-step process. And then having me go over all of the different sections of the video, the research, the scripting, the management, filming, editing, posting, and whatnot. So guys, as you guys can see from this script and basically how far we've gotten in the video, I don't say these things word for word, because what I realized is I like to just be myself, talk to you guys as if there was another human on the other side of the camera. I think that's the best way to do it, so that you guys can feel connected with the other person that's on the camera. So just to recap this, guys, you want to put down an introduction talking about very straightforward what the video is going to be about. You want to list some sort of problem or some sort of hook that will keep the viewer wanting to watch, knowing that if they watch the entire video, they're gonna get some value. And then you want to let the viewer know what is going to be covered in the video so that they can make their best conscious decision to see if this video is worth staying and watching to the end. And so now we've covered the research phase and the scripting phase, let's talk about the actual management side of things, which in my opinion is the most important and probably the most value that you'll be able to gain from this video. So I'm actually using a template made by Tom Nosk. He has a time to build course that he launched. Now I will provide you guys with a template similar to this in the description down below, because I have made a lot of changes to the Tom Nosk Notion template. And I've kind of simplified it because I don't like to have things super complicated and all over the place. For me, I like to have it very simple, very easy to understand. I don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but I have my ideas in the right place. So as you guys can see, the first tab is going to be ideas. So these are ideas that I've just kind of threw in there as we're in research phase, or I see a cool video, I'll just quickly open up my phone, put an idea in. At this point, I'm just straight up putting in the title. Then I'll move it over into the scripting phase. And in this phase, I pretty much just start typing out, the scripting parts. So this one is using Notion to manage your production creative agency. So this is actually a similar video to this one, but as you guys can see, I put in the hook, the extended hook, the call to action, the context. Yeah, I'm just still in the middle of scripting that one. So once I finish the scripting phase, I'll move it over to the ready to film phase. So that means when I go down to sit onto a camera, I can say, all right, let's film one long form video today, and let's film 5 or 6 or 7 shorts, so that I can move those into the next tab, which is going to be ready to edit. So I actually hired an editor, and I'll get into that later in this video when I speak about the editing phase, but just to keep things simple, yeah, I'll move it into the ready to edit for my editor, and then once the editor finishes the edit, he'll move it into ready to post, so that I have all of my videos ready to go in the ready to post tab. So what you guys were seeing before was my entire content pipeline, but this is what I use strictly for YouTube. So I'm actually gonna open up the video that I did a couple weeks ago, turn your Osmo Pocket 3 into a Cine Camera 3 Easy Steps. So I have the status of it, I have the channel, which is YouTube, I have the type of content, which is long form. Sometimes I'll throw in a caption if it's Instagram or if it's a short. I don't really use the scheduled tab because I try to post every Thursday or Friday. I'll put the raw footage in here for my editor, and then once the video is done, my editor will throw the final video in right here. At one point I had multiple editors, so I had different editors, and I also edit some of my own stuff, so I'll tag who's editing it so I know who's responsible. I'll have the edit status. So this one's actually complete. I forgot to change it. Once it's done, I'll put finish so that I know that it's pretty much done. I don't have to worry about looking at it in the long term. And then I'll put the music bed ID in there. So when I actually go to post the video, I can copy and paste this music bed ID. So yeah, guys, just a quick recap. The ideas will be placed in the idea tab. We'll move them over to scripting once I'm ready to script them, move it into ready to film once they're ready to go, so that when I sit down, I can go ahead and film, move it into ready to edit. Once it's done being edited, it gets moved to ready to post. And then finally, once I publish it, I throw it to this publish tab. But if I ever wanted to go back and, see, the final video, the raw footage, I have access to all of it in this Notion. So you guys can see how this can really help you guys stay organized and stay on track for your content management system. So now that we've covered the management side of things, let's talk about the actual filming side of things. So I'm actually going to be making a video over the next 2-3 weeks about how you can set up your YouTube setup to be as cinematic and as professional as possible. Fortunately, I have had years of experience in the video production world, so I know how to set it up correctly. But really, there's 3 main components for filming these videos. Number 1 is going to be shooting on a decent camera, which I highly recommend the Osmos Pocket 3 if you guys don't have one already. But also, if you don't have that, you can use your iPhone as well. But I think it's crucial that if you do use an iPhone, you need to land at the next 2 sections because they're pretty important. The next section is going to be lighting. So guys, if you look at any of my other videos, I shoot most of them in my studio at home. And there I have professional lighting, a professional key light. I got LEDs in the background. I don't have those things today because I'm traveling and I'm visiting my family's house, but I'm using a ring light to keep the light going. So this is what the content looks like without the key light, and then this is what it looks like with the key light. So you guys can see that it makes a pretty big difference. So I think that's pretty important. Last but not least, let's talk about the audio. I usually also have a professional microphone at home, but I wasn't able to bring that with me today, so I have my lav mic. I guess the point being is that it doesn't take a lot to make a decent video or have a decent video ready to go, but there are little things that you need to add on and use in order to create the best content possible. So then once I have all those 3 things set up, I'll sit down here and pull up my Notion, pull up my script, and just talk to the camera as if I was talking to one of my friends. And then what I'll do from there is just record, and I'll mess up, I'll make mistakes. I've already messed up like probably at least 100 times on this video. Just keep going through it, keep recording the video. And guys, with practice, you'll get better and better at doing this. So now that we have covered some basic steps in filming, let's go ahead and jump into the editing section of this video. So guys, I actually have hired a full-time editor and an animator to create all of my videos. And I highly recommend that if you guys have the money to do so, you definitely need to go down the route of doing this. And you don't need to go spend thousands of dollars to hire an editor. You can actually hire editors relatively cheap from the Philippines or South America using Fiverr, using onlinejobs.ph, where you can literally pay people 40-50 bucks, maybe even less, to make long form videos. And sometimes as cheap as $5 to $10 to make short form videos. So if it's something you guys want to take serious, I highly recommend spending a couple $100 on the editing, because editing is probably the most time consuming portion of content creation. And yeah, without me hiring this editor, it would have been a lot more difficult to stay consistent. Now, for those who cannot hire an editor, don't want to make that commitment quite yet, I would recommend downloading DaVinci Resolve. It's actually a free software used by professional videographers. And what I would recommend with content creation is cutting out everything that's boring. Don't leave anything in the video that is boring and that people don't want to watch. Just get straight to the context, get straight to the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the things that people actually want to stay and watch that video for. You're going to get better and better at doing this as you consistently post your content on a weekly basis. So last but not least, guys, we have finally created our video. We have gone through the research tab, we've gone through the scripting tab, we've gone through the management tab and how you're keeping all of this data organized. We've gone through the filming side of things, and we've even gone through the editing side of things, and we have our complete video ready to be posted. So I think when it comes to posting and scheduling, you guys need to try to stay as consistent as possible. Make yourself a realistic goal. Some of you guys don't have the time to post every single week. Maybe you only have time to post bi-weekly or once a month, but stick to that schedule, keep yourself accountable, and just start posting. Because if you guys are not posting content, you're not getting better. You're not getting better at speaking to the camera. You're not getting better at editing. You're not getting better at anything if you're not posting videos. So stay consistent. And guys, every single video that you guys make and post, just try to do something a little bit better for every single video. And in addition to posting on a consistent basis, it's important to use the right titles, to use the right descriptions, and of course, using the right thumbnails, because you want people to click on your video. Now, this could be different for TikTok, Instagram, any short form content. It's just about making it viral and interesting. But if you guys follow these systems and implement them into your content strategy, this should allow you to post more consistently, resulting in growing your channel or your social platforms much quicker. So yeah, guys, creating a system is extremely important. Hopefully you guys got some value in how I created my systems and how I stay consistent on a weekly basis. And I hope now that you are a step closer to your content creation goals. Again, the Notion template is going to be down in the description. If you guys want to learn more about videography, how to make better videos, how to light your things correctly, what cameras to buy, go ahead and check out my channel. I cover a video production niche, and I've been in the cinematography world for over 5 years now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And for all my friends who asked me to make this video, go ahead and shoot me a text message or shoot me a comment or go ahead and post a comment down below on any questions or anything you guys might need help with. And as always, guys, peace out.